I come to the conclusion, now the last slides, just some basic ideas about Jung. I tried to describe where Jung come from, but now I'll say some things which are what is important. Jung had a passion for thoughts and images. Imagination was something very, very important. He thinks, and this is something which is confirmed by neuroscience nowadays it says that's actually the most important feature of human beings, imagination, trying to think of something, dreaming up something, having these images in the head, that contains energy. It contains energy like in the mandala, of course, which I showed you, but also the images which come up into our mind or the images we derive from our surrounding. I think and Jung had a passion for that, ideas and images. And also the world contains a lot of information, but often there are details and events which contain information. So being curious of what is it about, that's also a basic trait of Jung. But the other thing which is also important is darkness, curse. Jung developed the idea of the shadow. We also have a shadow. So we also have motives. We also have kind of drives which we are not conscious of, which might be good or might be bad. But we're not just conscious beings. So we always have to be skeptical about ourselves. The next point is for Jung, which is important, the acknowledgement of subjective. By subjective, I mean own intuitions, dreams, feelings, associations. That's important. We're not just a result of the surrounding. We can't just be trained to do this or that, but we also have an inner life. This is important to value. I think this is also what Jung said. We're not just robots. We're not just products of our society, but we're also product of an inner life of developments in the inside. So what is important in life? And there Jung meant search the quest for meaning. Meaning, he defines having the sense, this is something why I'm alive. This is something which is really valuable for me. And meaning is not the same thing as maybe the society of us considers meaningful, or the surrounding or the family. Meaning is something which we have to find ourselves, which is different from every human being. It could be meaningful to be a mother. It could be meaningful to be a politician. It could be meaningful just to have an odd job, to have a small restaurant or whatever. So meaning is something which is really difficult to grasp, but he believes that every human being has the core, the quest, or what we have to do in life is to find out what is meaningful for us. Meaningful could also be something which is socially not quite acceptable. It's something different than doing something which is admired or with everybody agrees on. It's something which has to concur with our inner life. And that's actually the course of individuation. Individuation is also a very important term for Jung. If we individuate, we become who we actually are, because we all are the same but also different. We all have a path, but we have to find it out. And in order to find it out, imagination is important. The fantasies are just as reality. So fantasies are not just a product kind of from the surroundings. So fantasies contain their own energy, and fantasies might indicate which way it goes. And that's also important. And this leads us to the very last point, transcendence functions. Jung says we have a consciousness, but also there's other realities inside of us, maybe outside of us, which might want to convey a message which we have to find out, which we have to discover, which is a difficult task, not always easy, but this is actually the meaning of life. And this is where we can actually then reach the destiny or find out what is important for us.